I thought what we'd do again after having a new YouTube channel up for a couple of weeks or so. It's actually a week last Tuesday, it's Monday, isn't it? Yeah, so just under a couple of weeks. I thought we'd go and have a look at the stats and at the channel growth and give you some pointers as to what to look out for on your YouTube channel and how to compare your performance perhaps with other people in your sector. Now, terms and conditions apply as always. This is a very new channel to the point where I'm surprised that the algorithm has even picked it up yet. You'd normally expect it to take several months really to bed in. We're talking about just a day shy of 2 weeks, so that's very early days. Some of the numbers that I'm going to show you, I don't actually believe are going to be sustainable for the long term, because compared to competitors in the space, they're looking far too good. And the reason for that is because we're trying to draw inferences from very small data sets, which leads to something in statistics, which is quite hard to calculate, and also I find very hard to say: statistical significance errors. Wow, I said it. What that means is that if you're not careful, you end up drawing conclusions which are not really valid long term. But I'll show you what I mean in a moment. So just to recap, if you haven't seen the previous video, about a couple of weeks ago, I set up a brand new YouTube channel with no subscribers, obviously, because it was a new channel. I've done no advertising, no other promotion in one of the most competitive niches on the platform, which is the meditations and relaxing music and all that woo-woo stuff, which those of you who know me will know that I'm very much into. I'm a very spiritual person, so it makes sense for me to go into that niche. I'm talking rubbish, of course. I know very little about the niche, but what I did is I looked at the numbers and I found something which I thought was going to be difficult to get any traction in, to show you that if you can get traction in a really ridiculously competitive niche, then the one that you're likely to be targeting for your own business or your own pleasure, delectation, is likely to be less competitive, and therefore the numbers that I'm showing you, you ought to be able to knock into a cocked hat and do far better. Anyway, what I'll do below, oh hi Denise, I think I can see on the other screen that you've joined. What I'll do is I'll stick on the other on the chat, if anyone wants to join the Zoom, I'll stick the link in the comments now, and then you could hop on if you wished to ask any questions. There we go. Right, so first of all, let me share my screen and I'll show you the channel. So here's the channel, Future Independent Media Productions, nonsense name that I made up along with the nonsense strapline, Sights and Sounds for Life. Couldn't get much more nebulous, could you? So that's the channel. Oh dear. Shut up. Sorry about that. Got noise coming through from the other one. Sights and Sounds for Life. Now I'm all confused. Stop. So that's the channel. I could do YouTube, but messed up Zoom. Right. Cool. Okay, so there's the YouTube channel. Let's just have a look at what I've been up to first, so you can see. So what I've been doing is uploading lots and lots of videos. And if I sort them by the number of views. So we've got guided sleep meditations, we've got yoga music, we've got another sleep meditation, we've got more yoga music, study music, more sleep, more study, more yoga, positive affirmations, more sleep music, more positive affirmations, slow music. Oh, we've got, I used to be able to read Japanese a little bit. I can't read it now, but we've got a Japanese version of something which I already created. And that's a good tip, by the way. Not all of the people on the internet speak English, so it's always good if you feel like you want to go international to stick some up in foreign languages. So a Hindi version there as well. These haven't been published yet. There's a Spanish version. There's more Spanish versions there. So a wide selection of cheeses. No, a wide selection of content in different languages that that hopefully people are going to start to watch. And if we have a look at the top, Some of them have got 15 views already. Wow, whoopie-doo. Some of them down towards the bottom have yet to even get a single view. But that's okay. That's okay. What I want to do is go into the analytics and show you a couple of things that I'll be looking out for and things that you could be looking out for also. So let's go into analytics here. YouTube have recently redesigned analytics, which is good. I thought it was a bit of a pain in the bum to start with, but having played around with them now for a few months, they're much better than the old ones. Gives you many more clues. And the clues that I want to show you today revolve around the number of subscribers versus the number of views that you've got on your channel. Now, again, early days. I have got 4 subscribers so far and 110 views. 4 subscribers and 110 views. Again, not huge numbers, although to be honest, I have seen many channels that are getting less or fewer views than this, which have been in existence for months or even years. So we can see here that every couple of days, every 48 hours, we're getting 18 views. So that's about 9 views a day, isn't it? So not great by any means, and we expect that to go up significantly, but it does show at least we're getting some traction. We have 4 subscribers and 110 views. Why is that important? Why is that important? If anyone knows why it's important, type it into Facebook, and I think if on my other screen I should be able to see what people are typing. Don't know. Let's have a look. Is anyone typing an answer? It's very confusing. Well, okay, so the answer is if our content is engaging and people want to see more, then they're likely to subscribe, aren't they? Because if they subscribe, it means they'll be notified when more content is being put up there. If we're doing stuff that people don't want to see, then you would expect that people would come to the channel and then not subscribe because they wouldn't be interested in seeing the next piece of content that one's made. So the number of subscribers to the number of views that you get can be important. At least it's a good way of benchmarking your channel against other people's. So what I did on a separate sheet of paper, those of you who are old enough to remember Blue Peter, remember you say here's one I made earlier? Well, here's some numbers that I dug out earlier from both my YouTube channels and also one of the competitors to the new channel. And you can see that if I go through these, why I think that the numbers that I'm getting at the moment are not sustainable and are probably due to a statistical aberration in that they're not statistically significant. So this is the channel that I've just been talking about, and there are 4 views out of 110, sorry, 4 subscribers off of 110 views, which is a percentage is 3.6%. Now, one of the big players in the industry in the relaxation and meditation space, their ratio is about 0.26%. So I think it's very unlikely that going forward, I, as a small new player in this market with terrible, poor quality content at my own admission, is likely to be able to get north of 1%, never mind 3.6%. So I think these numbers are skewed. But it does mean that you're able to compare your channel, which if it's been established for a while, these numbers will be more significant or at least more believable with competition. So just to go through and show you how I would do that on a couple of other channels that I have. Here's my nursery rhyme channel. Oh no, it's not. No, this isn't. Oh, is this nursery rhyme? Yeah, this is the nursery rhyme one. So here we've got 136,893 subscribers from just shy of 90 million views. So that's about 0.1%, 15%. And on my Go Slow TV channel, which is the one where I do tube journeys and other nonsense, and I've got about 0.17%. So that's 4,171 subscribers, and about 2.5 million views. So that's 0.17%. So none of these numbers are anywhere near 3% or nearly 4%. So I think that this is unsustainable. If you want to benchmark your performance against a competitor, then a really good site to go to is Social Blade. If you go to socialblade.com, YouTube, and then type in the username here of your channel. So if I was doing it for my Go Slow TV channel, for instance, put that in there, then it'll give you the numbers that you need to calculate those ratios here, because normally you can't see the ratios that you can't see all the information that you need unless you own the channel. But here it'll give you number of subscribers they've got, number of videos they've got, also a number of video uploads. It'll also give you some more data about their channel. So as a way to look at competitors as well as keep tabs on your own performance, then Social Blade is a great place to go. Let's go back to the channel and just have a look at some more clues that may be coming in based upon this, albeit very limited data. Remember last time I talked about the importance of this click-through rate. Still 2.9%. I'd like to see that north of 10%. So that is appalling. And what that means is that my titles, or probably in my case more likely, my thumbnails are rubbish. So once I've got a bit more heritage in the channel, I'd want to go through and perhaps try some different thumbnail designs. Also down here, this is great. This is really YouTube telling you what people are searching for and finding. So slow music, guided sleep meditations coming up, and therefore I've been making videos about slow music and guided sleep meditations. Deep female voice was searched for, which is great, so maybe I'll start putting that in the titles. And really this is a good radar to tell you what to produce more content around. Just quickly also before I finish up, remember I said that when you start a new channel, you want to be getting most of your, or you will be getting, if you've done it right, you'll be getting most of your traffic from YouTube search. So here 26% is coming from YouTube search. Suggested videos down here at 9.1% is the minority. And the way that you get this suggested videos up to more than the search is that over time the algorithm will start to learn that people want to see your videos and put your videos in front of them as suggested videos. And key again to that, along with watch time, which we'll talk about in a different session, is getting this click-through rate up. Because again, what YouTube wants to do is it wants to suggest videos that it puts in front of you and then you click on so that you watch it. YouTube's all about the money. It's an attention economy. And the more attention that you're giving to videos, then the more chance you've got of the YouTube algorithm showing those videos to others. So it becomes a virtuous circle. I have spoken about it in separate posts, but I may do another session on it. You will find across the whole of the YouTube platform and even within your own content that half of the views come from the square root of the number of videos that you have up there. So things are massively, massively skewed on YouTube, and it's the same in any creative endeavor. A few people at the top of the tree make the vast lion's share of the revenues. So if you're going to be successful, what you've got to do is make sure that you're heading in the right direction to become top of the pile. At the moment, everything's going well. I'm quite happy with these numbers. I don't really believe the numbers here. As I say, I think these are over optimistic by a long way. In fact, by an order of magnitude, as a mathematician would say. And all an order of magnitude means is the decimal points in the wrong direction. If that had been 0.36 as opposed to 3.6, then again, it still would have been twice as good as what I'd expect, but it would have been at least a little bit more believable. So unless there's any questions, I'll just leave the chat open for a moment. I'll say thank you very much for your time. At the end of the day, being successful on YouTube is a long game, and the only thing that's really going to make you successful at the end of the day, no matter how much wizardry you do, of course you need to optimize the channel, you need to optimize the videos, and we'll go through some of that, I guess, in future sessions, is if you produce engaging content that people want to watch. It's a very fair system in that way. If you produce rubbish, then typically you won't be successful. Now, I am producing rubbish. Honestly, the videos are just terrible. They're awful. But I'm optimizing and I'm doing things apart from producing great content in order to demonstrate to you that it's possible to optimize and get views. So go out there and produce great content, and you will ultimately be successful. If you would like any help, then PM me. Though sometimes Facebook puts PMs in spam, doesn't it, or it doesn't show you, so just stick it in the comments. Denise, when am I going to launch a training? I thought I'm doing it. This is training now, isn't it? I don't know whether I'll ever get around to doing a product or something, possibly. Seems to involve quite a lot of work from what I can tell. Anyway, have a wonderful evening. Thanks very much for your company, and stay safe. And until next time, bye for now. Now, how do you stop the Zoom?